Ciao beautiful people, I'm here with Gozney and I'm gonna teach you how to make Roman style pizza and focaccia style pizza with zucchini, mozzarella di bufala, prosciutto cotto and a lot of good stuff. And here's my favorite part, it's time to get dirty. Nothing better for me, it reminds me of my childhood. You wanna have a big container enough to mix all the flour, it's very important. In the beginning we're gonna mix the two dusts, that's how we call it in Italy. Le polveri means flour. I use bread flour over here. I like to use something that absorbs a lot of water since we're gonna do a 70% hydration. 70% means that basically in 1 kilo of flour there's gonna be 700 grams of water. Semolina rimacinata means milled twice. Use your hand, feel it. Always feel your ingredients, don't be afraid. And you wanna have the color of the two mixed very beautifully. As you see, the both flour now became one color. It's like the white of the flour mixed with the yellow become a little bit of beige. And you can feel it, like if you pass the flour through your finger, you can feel that semolina, the little grains. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna save 50% of this water, have your fresh yeast melted into the water. And also, yes, you can add the yeast to the flour too. I don't find nothing wrong about that. But I like how sticky it becomes, so that's just me. Brings me back to my family when I was a kid. I mixed it dough with everybody. If you don't have fresh yeast, you can always use dry yeast, half of the measurement that I give you on the recipe. Now you just want to add your yeasty water to the flour. If you don't like doing it with your hands, just grab a spoon or spatula. You won't say, oh my God, it's so sticky. You know, there's a lot of people have problem with sticky stuff. I don't. I love it. So as you can see, the flour is starting to roughly absorb the water. At this stage, if you want to just stop, you just put this in the refrigerator, like you compact it a little bit, and this is going to be your biga tomorrow, basically. But because we're not going to do that today, we're going to just finish to mix the water. And don't worry if the dough is very sticky to your hand, just keep going. We're not going to mix the dough so much. We're gonna do like a long bulk fermentation, so everything is gonna come together. Basically, time is gonna do the work for you. We're gonna add the salt, the last bit of water. Cheers. So as you can see, the dough is still rough. We're gonna add our last ingredient, olive oil. And in this case, in this recipe, I like using olive oil because it's gonna give the dough a little bit of flakiness. This is a dough that's gonna be stretched very thinly. When I took a bite of the first slice that I made, it was like, oh my God, it reminds me of the, almost like a flaky biscuit dough. And I loved it so much. See, the dough doesn't stick anymore. I mean, it's not super smooth, but like I told you, we're not gonna over mix this dough because time is actually gonna develop gluten for us. So when you are at this point, just don't worry about it. In 16 hours, I'm gonna show you how beautiful and elastic and how much gluten development this dough is gonna do. Pop the lid on. See you in 16 hours. So this is how the dough looks after 12, 18 hours. You can see it. And that's my favorite part. My favorite part is like when the dough rests and relax, you just take it, you know, and you stretch it like a blanket, you see? You see how transparent it is? That means that all the work that we put into when we're mixing it, it made an amazing gluten structure. So take your bench scraper, separate it, and put it on the counter. See all those beautiful bubbles? When the dough ferments in the fridge, it's way easier, especially high hydration dough. It's very easy to manage because usually when you want to boil it right away, it gets very sticky. So like this, you have a little bit of cold, it's firmed up. Your bench scraper and measure 180 grams little dough portion. Look at me, not bad. And then if it's too sticky for you still, roll it. Or you can do the technique that we all do. Just pull it back in and close it. Pull it back in and close it. And look how smooth it is. You always want to leave room to proof. So I usually measure 2 or 3 fingers, depending on how big your fingers are. And this dough will give you roughly 9 to 10 pizza. So if you have extra little, what I do, I like to divide it equally. You know, my wife thinks I'm crazy because anytime I make the dough, I talk to the dough. They say, what the hell are you doing? It's like, yeah, these are my babies. If you're hungry, you cannot wait, you want to make pizza, you leave this at room temperature, 2-3 hour max. They're gonna almost double in size. But if you want to prep this ahead and you want to give another 24-hour fermentation, you just leave it 1 hour at room temperature and they pop in the fridge and it's gonna be ready for the next day. So we're gonna cover it and go back in the fridge. See you in 24 hours. And here we are. Look how pretty. Ta-da! It's almost double inside. A lot of air, but also has a 70% hydration though. Not super sticky. Cold fermentation. We're gonna stretch it. Just put a little bit of semolina and we're gonna make a beautiful margherita pizza. Simple, nice, everybody favorite. Because it's a Roman style, we just wanna push the air from the outside to the inside because we want the middle to actually have structure and to hold ingredient. And the outside of the pizza, we just gonna flatten it up with our hand. This style of pizza usually is stretched with a rolling pin, but I like to fill the dough with my hand, so that's why I go with my hands. We're gonna stretch it and shake the excess flour. You can see how elastic it is, look. Doesn't tear, it's very easy to handle. And now we're gonna dress it up. Over here we have San Marzano tomato. We crushed by hand, so you're gonna have those little kernels of tomato that are different. It's not super homogeneous. I like when the tomato is not super smooth and has different texture because in a one bite you can have a burst of flavor of tomato and that's the surprise, right? Something that I love about making margherita pizza. Go all around the pizza, leaving like 1 centimeter, 1.5 centimeters. Don't over wet your pizza. This is supposed to be a crispy style of pizza. Fresh basil, couple of leaves, Parmigiano Reggiano grated, some chunks of beautiful fior di latte cheese on the pizza. Try not to put too much fior di latte or otherwise that's gonna discharge a lot of water on your pizza and then you're gonna have like a soup instead of a pizza. We're ready for the oven. Okay, before to put the pizza in the oven, we're gonna load up the dome with a little bit of semolina, not too much, otherwise this is gonna burn underneath your pizza. Temperature is around 410 degrees. It's gonna rise a little bit and then slowly gonna lower down and gently finish to cook your pizza. Woo! And there you have it, a beautiful Roman style margherita pizza. As you can see, it's perfectly cooked. It's crispy underneath. And we're gonna finish it with basil leaves, or since I'm in the UK, basil. Olive oil. Just listen to that crunch, come on. There you go. Pizza stays beautifully straight. The undercarriage is nice and charred, but not too much. The crust super crispy. And this is the perfect bite. You try to be creative and try to invent new flavors, but at the end of the day, what you go back eating is always a margherita pizza. All right, we're about to do focaccia style pizza using the same dough. So I'm gonna show you the versatility. First thing, peel your zucchini. And I use a peeler, it's very easy. So basically the focaccia, we're gonna stretch it rectangular. So it's gonna be a little different than a regular pizza. It's gonna be crispier, cooked at lower temperature than the regular pizza, and it's actually gonna have time for the zucchini to cook on top of the pizza. It's gonna be delicious. So in Italy, we call this zucchine. In the US, they call it zucchini. So it's kind of similar, right? But since we are in the UK, I learned that these are called courgettes. For what reason, I don't know. We're gonna go with olive oil, good amount of salt. It's actually gonna be a first cook because the salt is a cooking agent. Black pepper and some mint leaves. Yes guys, zucchini and mint. It's so delicious, trust me. And this don't need to marinate overnight, it's just a few minutes to marinate. Imagine how beautiful it's gonna look on a pizza. The same dough, we're gonna take it out. We're just gonna treat it like a regular focaccia until you have a nice long shaped focaccia style dough. Lots of bubbles, it's gonna be delicious. So what we're doing right now, we're actually using the weight of the dough to get it flat and stretch himself. Like a 10-inch length, add a little bit of olive oil. Since there is no sauce, no base, you're just gonna poke some holes. Otherwise, the dough will puff up in the oven, all the zucchini will fly all over the place, and this will become just a giant balloon. So you're gonna add your marinated zucchini. That's your pizza peel with semolina, and then shake it off. The way I put the pizza in the oven is I first slide in the top part, and then I try to take it with me. So I stretched it actually, because when you put the pizza in the oven, the first part is gonna be the part that is gonna be attached to the floor, so it sticks. So if you slowly pull it back, the dough actually is gonna stretch, and it's gonna look more like a long-shaped focaccia. All right, look, a beautiful color, so crispy. Before adding any topping, I want to show you the undercarriage. Just so beautiful. So we have our margherita pizza, which is round and classic. And then we have our focaccia style, which is square and long. There you go. Beautiful ham, prosciutto slices. You can eat this pizza all year long. Serve it as an appetizer. It's perfect for sharing with a little glass of prosecco. You're gonna have the time of your life. Mozzarella di bufala, and I like to tear it apart because it makes it look more rustic. Finish with mint leaves, more salt, pepper, and olive oil. So here we have it, a beautiful focaccia style pizza. And enjoy the party with people here, like I'm doing right now. Erica?
Corner slice.
Come on, I mean, it's the best.
It's
Come
the
on,
best.
it is the best. All right, beautiful people. From the Gozney studio, it is all. I hope you guys share this recipe, have a lots of aperitivo, lots of laugh with your loved ones, and I'll see you next time. And you can find this recipe on gozney.com. Ciao a you.